All right, let's get this party fucking started. Oh no. Why do I do that to you guys? Hold on. Apparently, it wants me to fix the stupid camera. Oh my god. There we go. There we go. I wonder if the webcam's going to do that now. Nope. Nope. The webcam ain't going to do that now. What's up? What's up, creepers? Geekers? You know, you fucking thrill seekers. Chris, the retro creep. How's everyone doing this afternoon? Violation Entertainment. What's going on, my friend? What is happening? So give me a minute here to get my bearings. I think the landlord's been trying to get into the apartment for some reason. I'm like, I don't care what's going on. He ain't coming in here today. His entire apartment could be flooded, on fire. And I'm going to be like, no, no. So we could be getting interrupted. Both of the girls are homesick today. I don't think that they're actually sick. I think they're just sick and fucking tired. Sick and fucking tired of hold on one second. Of they're seniors this year and things are a little looser. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm in kind of a quiet mood myself today. Don't mind the no hat. We're gonna be working with some materials here that, are going to be on my hand, but I don't want to touch my hat with it. Oh, excuse me. So pretty much what we're doing. Let me again. I gotta keep readjusting my screens here so I can see who's what and what's going on and analytics. How many people are in here? According to this, nobody. According to this, nobody. I see a violation entertainment, and I know somebody called the creepy crawl is watching. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say that at all. Man, I wish you could see the texture of this thing up close. So let's get into the webcam, make sure the webcam's still doing what it's got to do. Um, so what we're doing today is I'm pre-prepping this to be ready to be molded. And what we're going to do is a brush-on mold with this product called oh my God, I can't remember. Um, well, let me go get it. Let me go get it. Rebound 25. I use so many of these. I usually use um a different silicone. I usually use a different silicone than this, but the reason I chose this stuff is because it's specifically made to be brushed on. And I also have another product in here, a thickening agent. So the idea is because there's going to be a lot of go back to the webcam, because there's going to be a lot of texture and all kinds of stuff. Just pouring silicone into a mold box like we would normally have done in the past won't really work too well because there's going to be too many little spots where the silicone might get, might not get in there because air will get trapped, and now you're gonna have bubbles in the mold and all kinds of stuff. So the idea with this is to put it together and then stipple it into like the detail, and they call that the beauty coat. What's up, hon? How you feeling? Okay, I literally just started streaming, and I would prefer no interruptions. Okay, I hope you're feeling better. You're welcome. Um, is to get like a beauty coat onto it so all the details are captured. And then maybe do one more coat of it just straight. And then what you do is you add the thickening agent, and that way it doesn't run as much. And then you can get a nice thick layer. Unfortunately, I'm going to need a lot of material for this because of how high some of these skulls are. And maybe because of that, what I'll do is I'll put more rocks in here and build it up. But for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around every one of these little pieces. I know you're not going to be able to see a lot of the detail. It's not really about that. It's about the chat. And since I wanted to do it today, and honestly, I almost said no, but I was like, you know what? Let me use this as a stream, and you guys will actually motivate me to do this. more than I could ever motivate myself. So now that I'm on screen, I got to do it, right? I mean, I guess I could bail. Um, so the idea today is to use a material. I'm going to use this right now. It's just a cheap air dry clay that you can get at any craft store. Looks like terracotta. It almost looks like clay, from the Southwest, and it smells like fresh leather. Great smelling stuff. But I've had it for so long, and technically it was only good until 2022. So I'm going to use that to get into. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Hold on. Can you see right here? There's that dark line. That's an undercut. And what I'm trying to do is prevent the silicone from going underneath the rock because when I pull it out, it's going to rip this thing apart. And worse, when I actually start pouring plastic in here and I slush cast it, the resin will go underneath the rock too in the mold. And every time I pull something out, it may rip a part of the mold and degrade it every time I use it. So, and with silicon molds, you only have so many, pulls you can make out of it, especially if you're using like a quick cure resin because those are thermal based. It's a heat reaction and it gets hot and it'll dry out the mold. And that's why we use mold releases and stuff like that. And sometimes we'll line it with, like a petroleum jelly or something like that to keep the mold from drying out too much. But once you start drying out the mold, it starts to crumble. And silicon's a wonderful product, but it doesn't last very long in this application. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to prepare this before I finalize the design while I have room to get into things, get some of this material into the undercuts. I got a couple of different brushes. I got this right here, which is a real stiff brush that I'm going to use to kind of stipple a texture onto it. I got the sculpting tools. I got my little Jason head here that one of the girls got me. Um, to get into things. There's really not much to it, honestly. It's just tedious nonsense. So I figured, what the hell? Let's stream and do it, and that'll keep me occupied for the time being while I do it. And afterwards, I'm going to stipple on a mixture of, I guess, Mod Podge or school glue. I have both right here, and we won't get to this part because this stuff takes a while to dry. Mixed in with some either grout, or I even have some plaster Paris dirt cheap. A big bucket was like $5 or whatever. Or maybe we can just go outside and get some sand. We got a couple of buckets of sand in the garage for multiple purposes, mainly for my landlord's business. He repairs pools and he uses it for a lot of things. Um, but either way, to give it like a ground texture, like this is a pile of dirt with skulls and rocks sticking out. And there are some gaps here and there that I may fill over time, but since everything's somewhat exposed and not too chaotic, I started noticing that here. And it's going to be tough to get into some of these crevices, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to make it happen. I'm going to start right here with this guy, which I already have. There's already a little bit of material, as you see the color difference. And the reason this is the color it is because the dome itself is a styrofoam half ball, right? And spray paint will eat this up real quick. This is a specific primer, this color, for styrofoam. I don't have any left, but I got it when I was working at the Artist and Craftsman Supply Store. It's from a company called Montana. I believe it's part of their gold line. May have been black, but I'm pretty sure it was part of the gold line. But either way, it was a primer, so you can just look it up that way. And then I'm going to hit the whole thing with a Mod Podge, and then probably even a coat of filler primer too, because I want every ounce of this thing sealed. Because a lot of the material that I'm going to use will react poorly with the silicone that I'm going to stipple onto this later on, like this material that we're using today. I believe it has sulfur in it, and because of that, the silicone that's touching anything with the sulfur will not cure ever, 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 never. And I can't tell you, I made an egg once. It was an alien egg. It was probably about the size of a grapefruit, give or take. And I went to make a mold of it, and some of it was made with a very similar clay to this, and I didn't know that. So I made this great big, super duper detailed fucking thing. And I put the mold on it, and I let it sit for a night or two, and then when I popped it out, it was like all this gooey resin or silicone still on it that will never cure, and you can't really clean that. So I got to make sure that this is not only sealed, but all the undercuts are taken care of. And then I'm going to do a final once over and maybe add some more rocks. Maybe I got plenty of these little skulls. The skulls, believe it or not, are from an ice cube tray that I bought off of like Temu years ago, or maybe even AliExpress. One of those two style companies for like $3. I got a couple of them. So um, that's where we're at today. So again, it's not really about the details of you seeing what's going on. I mean, you can watch, but just more having people around to chat with while I'm doing it. Maybe make the time go by quicker, you know. So let me pinch up a little bit of material here. And the wonderful thing about stuff like this is a little tiny little bit goes a long way, like a real long way. So I'll do it this way so you can kind of see what's going on. So I just put a little blob right here, right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this tool, or I should say this brush, to just get it into the undercut, and then I'm going to stipple outward. It's not going to blend it perfectly, but it'll do it enough. Again, there's going to be another coat on top of all of this to kind of seal it all in and to blend it together. So, Violation says, was just watching your ET special. Oh, right on, man. I wouldn't really necessarily call it a special. I want to do stuff like that more often, talking about retro toys. I just happened to be in an ET mood yesterday, so I really appreciate that, man. Maybe ET came to our planet to protect us because we knew a predator was going to show up. But Arnie took care of it anyway. Yeah, well, he took care of one. He took care of one of them so far. And this is the type of material you don't really want to leave. Don't really want to leave it open. So this right here, I got to get underneath this skull, but there's a rock here blocking it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it like a little snake, a snaky poo. Ironically, I'm just going to kind of lay it between the two. I got this nifty thing. I got the Dollar Tree. It's for getting underneath your nails and stuff like that. And that will be perfect just to kind of get it on in there. Boom, just tuck it in. Tuck it in. Just saying that alone gives me some Buffalo Bill vibes. Ooh. You know, it's funny with the Buffalo Bill thing from Silence of the Lambs, for the one person who might not know what I'm talking about. That famous song, I don't know what it's called, and I don't know who sings it, and I don't really care. But I was on TikTok and that song came on, and I had to put my phone down for a second. So of course it replayed over and over again. And as I was walking back to the table, I strutted my stuff. If you fuck me, I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me real hard. Oh my god. How did our generation survive with that kind of pop culture? You know? Now this piece is a little bigger than it probably should be. I'm just gonna stipple it on in there. I'll give you a close-up view of what's going on as I finish this one. But the skulls are mostly made out of plaster of Paris too. So that's going to have to be sealed up because that won't mix with the silicone very well either. So, but again, right now I'm just cleaning up all the undercuts, praying to God that this stays where it's supposed to stay until I can seal it. Because the material is old. It is an older material. But I can see it's like crumbly already, and that is ungood, ungood. Ah, so what's everybody up to today? What's on everybody's lunch agenda? At least around here, it's somewhat lunchtime. It's like 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll try to be here every day, Monday through Friday. If you knew, if you knew, and you didn't know. If you knew, you didn't knew. But now you do. Knowing's half the battle. So the beauty of this technique right here is that not only is it getting in and under, but it's blending it and it's giving it texture at the same fucking time. It's killing so many birds with the same stone. It's wonderful. Fuck you, bird. The only reason I don't have any respect for birds is because they're not real. Birds aren't real, man. They're surveillance drones. I believe that's what I'm supposed to believe, right? Is that what we're told? Ooh, ooh. Get that in there. Use this tool to kind of guide it. I probably should have some water over here. In fact, that's a good idea. I'm going to go get a cup of water. Please excuse my absence. Although I doubt anyone's even really in here except for maybe me and one other person. Oh, it doesn't even tell you how many. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, it says there's 5 people in here. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. I know a lot of you can't really chat because of, driving or working or whatever, but I just want to take a minute to say thank you. Let me go grab some water real quick. I apologize. I apologize. Let me get a little cup. All right. Oh, wee. I got water. I got water. All right. Let me finish going around this guy and I'll show you what we've done. All right. You need a little more, like just barely. I'm going to put it right here on the end of the brush. Use that to. And also later on, when I go back in with I go back in with the mixture of Mod Podge and oh my fucking god with that phone. All right, give me a second here. Give me a moment here. We're gonna do that. Always trying to sell us some bullshit. Always trying to sell us on some bullshit. I hate Verizon now. Not that I'm into any specific TV stations, but Verizon, at least locally, won't have Fox on their networks because um, they say money. I think it's a political thing. I don't know. What the fuck would I know? I'm just a fat useless fuck from Boston. Rip a little bit of this off. The stuff is pretty dry, so I'm gonna crumple up a little bit of paper towel that I have over here from when I was painting. Oh, I wish I'd brought it in here. I finally painted the first reptile hide for photographs, but it's outside. I'm gonna put that in there. Keep a little bit of moisture in there. But it's outside drying. It's outside drying. The clear coat I use stinks, and you gotta let it completely do its thing. But but yeah, they won't have Fox, and I've been trying to watch the games. I mean, luckily last week's game wasn't Pat's game. That is. last week's Pats game wasn't really Fox-centric, if you will. Wasn't Fox-centric. So we were able to watch it, and I believe this next game won't be on Fox either. But they refuse to host Fox on their network, Verizon, so if it becomes a fucking problem into the next season, then fuck them. Fuck them in the ear, I'm going to take a little bit of moisture and come in again. And what that'll do is it'll rehydrate the product, the material. Let me manipulate it just a little bit more and it'll seal it. And it will seal. Not like the singer. Not like the singer. Very good. Very good. What's going on here? Kirk's Arcade. Sup, Creep? How you been, man? I've been doing well. Been doing well. Thank you for asking. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Again, I don't know if my webcam is going to really show it to you very well because it's a cheap Logitech. But that's pretty much what we're talking about right there. Okay. There we go. You can kind of see the material, right? Oh, on camera, it looks all goofy. It looks all uneven, which it's not the most even thing in the world, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to seal. Just has to seal. I got a little pinhole right there. Oh my God. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to get a little bit more material. Oh my fucking God, with this phone. You know what? I'm going to leave it over here. What's this? I'll answer it and hang up. There are some days where the phone just won't shut the fuck up. And it's always scam. It's almost always scam or someone trying to sell us something. Tickets to the policeman's ball. They still kind of do that. I know that was kind of like a running joke when we were kids on TV, but they still kind of do that. Now I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but right here, there's like a little cave in this rock. Right there. See that little black spot underneath the handle? I'm going to fill that right now with some of this. And I'm going to do it flush, and then I'll stipple on the stuff. And that's the great thing about getting it on here. I can just do this. I'll wipe it all over. All right, let's just pinch out just a little bit. Actually, this has an undercut on this side too. So maybe use my fingernail thing to get underneath, get it in there. Yeah, this works out really well. Oh my fuck. Oh. Sometimes when I do that, what happens is whatever bot sends the call. You guys should know this shit. It gives it to somebody else. Someone answered. Let's try again. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe I shouldn't answer, but I'm live right now. I don't want to listen to the fucking. And we never get voice messages. No one ever leaves a fucking message unless it's either somebody we know or something we're expecting. Oh shit! I should have more paper towel over here. All right, let's get that in there. Let's jam it. Blend it into the rock itself. Make it look like part of the rock. This one doesn't want to stick. Too bad, buddy. That's too bad. I'm gonna make you stick. I'm gonna make a longer one here. Longer. Little snaky poo. I'm gonna put it right there. Boop. Boop. Bring it in at an angle here. Cool. Go lay down. Go relax. All right. All right. You know what? I'm leaving that be. That looks goodest. That looks the goodest. Oh man. Down top here. So my initial instincts are to go here. Well, we'll just keep going in order, right? And what's worse is some of these objects are a little bit loose. They're not on there the strongest to begin with, because it's hard to glue down the fucking foam. It really is in some cases. And don't get me started. Don't get me started on the. Dry this off. On the plaster skulls. Oh my god! I actually had to reglue. Which one did I have to reglue? I think it was this one. No, no, I don't know. I can't tell. But either way, I had to re. Oh no, it's this one right here. I can totally see the gap still. So I'll work on that one here in a moment. So, all right, yeah, right. One little hole to patch right here. One little hole. I'm gonna be precise about it. I'm just gonna haphazardly work the material into the crack. All right, itchy. My head is itchy. This could be blended a little bit better. Use my finger. There we go. There we go. Now it looks like the dirt is on the skull, and not below the skull, giving a little bit more realism to the object. Let's motion it this way, so you can still kind of see what I'm doing. There's a lot of undercut right here, so I'm gonna have to get really, really medieval, jamming things in there. What the fuck? Where'd the other half of that go? Oh, really? Where'd it go? I felt it fall. Oh, bizarre. How bizarre. You know what? It's been all day with these kids in bed. As soon as they start streaming, they're out here. Oh, hey Alex. No Rob tonight because you're homesick. So we might reschedule for either a Friday or a Saturday. Saturday might be tricky with your other thing, so
I mean, it ends at like 2:30.
I know, but we don't know what his availability is.
2:15.
Right.
Like,
Sometimes it goes over.
yeah. One time, me and a whole bunch of people made excuses to leave because it was 2:30 and the lady was still talking and making the same exact points as she had like 10 minutes ago. So
Yeah.
we leave. 5 to 10 people are still in the group chat, or 5 people are in the group chat that are in the meeting, right?
Okay.
And one of them texts us saying, "Girl, she's still talking. It's 2:45." So apparently they all got out somehow. But like this lady
How about
kept
you just
talking.
leave?
Yeah, she kept, because you can get in trouble for that.
After time?
After time. Yeah.
Fuck that, you're paying for it, right?
Yeah. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
oh, can you imagine that? She's paying to do this thing. It's like a skill that she's learning, okay? We're not going to talk about what it is. but she's paying to do this. And the lady's going to go over the time, which is fine because that's free. But if you go, you're going to get in trouble after. Nah, it's not on my watch. Not on my watch. Oh,
Yeah, she kept sunscreen.
oh, violation. Thank you for the super chat, man. I really appreciate it. What, hon?
Sunscreen, like we didn't understand what sunscreen was.
She didn't know what sunscreen was?
Well, she was talking to us like we need to understand that we need to wear sunscreen, whether
Okay.
it's winter or summer. And like I learned that in like third grade.
Yeah.
I learned that you need to wear sunscreen in the summer when I was like an infant.
Okay. All right. Let me get back to this.
All I do is pop in, say hi, and disappear.
Oh, I know. I got to read whether the super chat is. I got to make sure that they're getting all their money's worth. It says, make out, make kids, or marry. A. Chewbacca, E.T., and Alf. Make out, make kids, or marry. How about just marry, fuck, or kill? How about that? I would marry probably E.T. I'd kill Chewbacca and fuck Alf. Yeah, Chewbacca's much stronger than I am, and I want to be the dominant one. Chewbacca would totally make me the bottom. And that's not bueno. All right, I'm having a little trouble in this one corner here, guys. It's just jamming in there. This material might suck for doing this. I might have to bail on it. It's just I've had it for so long. All right, I'll just get that with my regular sealer. I'll just get that with my regular sealer. I'll just get the big stuff for right now. The big stuff, or I'll let that section dry and then I'll worry about it later. Either way, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, I'll get my silicon tools out. I don't know why I haven't been using these. These are literally specifically made for stuff like this. Help smooth it out, manipulate it. But yeah, again, thank you so much, Violation. I genuinely appreciate that, man. Best $5 ever spent. Ah, well, I'm glad I made it worth your Australian dollars because it was $5 here, which means it was probably $343 your end. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Uh, well, that one just went in with no problem. No problems. All right, let's get into this little corner. Let's go back to this guy. Wow, I made a lot of problems for myself with this fucking sculpt. You know what? You know what's ironic is I started this one probably about a year, if not longer ago. Jerome, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon, dude. Um, and I kind of stopped because of realizing the issues that were at hand. And I started another one, which we've molded up. I've already casted a few, and I have a painted example ready for with uh, example, for photos and stuff like that for the Etsy shop. Um, and that one came together like really quick, and this one I've had for over a year. But I really wanted. This is the one that started the whole project. See, the reason I want to even build. So for anyone who's not really understanding what's really going on here, to be honest with you, let me do this real quick. I am slowly starting a small business called Reptile Haunts, and what I'm doing is I'm making like little hives, little homes for small creatures, mostly reptiles, of course. Like lizards and small snakes. Like this one right here would be perfect for like a corn snake, up until they got too big, until they get too big. Um, and the other one would be more like your hog-nosed snakes, smaller species, or like geckos and smaller um, like chameleons and stuff like that. Maybe even like a hamster or spiders. You know, a lot of people have tarantulas. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to see the pet stores, the big box ones like the Petco's and the Pet Smarts. They're actually selling jumping spiders. I don't understand that because it's not like you can domesticate through breeding a spider. It's never going to happen. Maybe it'll be tamer, but jumping spiders aren't necessarily aggressive anyway, by any stretch of anyone's imagination. And you could go outside in most places in this country and go find a metal telephone pole with like a junction box and look underneath it, and you will find a jumping spider as long as the sun beats down on it. They love a lot of sun. Mailboxes and stuff like that. You can find jumping spiders everywhere. At least here in New England. I know I could go outside right now and find one. I know it's cold out, but they're still out there. They're still out there. In fact, there was one in the house that would walk on the molding in my ceiling here. And I found them in the bathroom at one point in the tub. So I scooped them back out and brought them back out here and put them on the wall. And I noticed in this corner he made like a little spider web, so I left it. I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna let the dude live because that's free pest control." But the point I'm trying to make is you can go to a pet shop and spend 30, 40, $50 on a jumping spider when all you really got to do is go outside with a fucking little medicine bottle, you know, with the holes punched in the top, and you can get your own, you know. All the varieties are out there. You don't have to worry about your pet store. I mean, if you absolutely have to have one and you don't feel like, you know, putting in some effort into something, I suppose buy one, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I did buy one once, but it was because I had a birthday coupon and it made it just about free. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful creature. It was really beautiful. Let me get this tool. So anyone coming in, it's not necessarily about you seeing what I'm doing. I apologize. You're not going to see a lot of it. It's mainly having you guys chat with me while I do it and motivating me to keep going. Keep going. Jerome says, skulls. Happy pile of skulls. Thank you, man. Oh, I was going to get to that. Why specifically I started this one. Whatever happened to your jumping spider? He died. He got dead. They only last for so long. Very colorful, unbelievable variety. I know, right? Right? I was, I was just talking about him. How ironic. How ironic. But no, he died a long time ago. He was, I'm going to just assume it was a he, was an older spider anyway when I got him. So I was told you might have a couple months at best. And I think that's pretty much what I had with him. A couple months. Couple of months. All right, so you guys can kind of see what's going on here. Underneath the skull, underneath the jaw, there's like a little crease, a crevice, if you will. A crevice. Let me put that on the lid. Again, I'm just making a little snaky poo. A little snaky poo. I don't know if you can see that guy. There we go. What the shit? Stop going in between my fingers. And I'm just gonna lay it right there. There you go. It's a nice little home for you, buddy. Now I'm gonna put it where it needs to be. Use the silicone tool to kind of smush it into the hole. Blend it, which is what I should have been doing to begin with. I use this to really give it some love. But the whole genesis of this was a hide I had for a snake I was fostering in Arizona years ago. I was at the PetSmart or Petco, one of the two, and there was a pile of skull Pull up the image. Pull up the image. A pile of skull hide. And I'm like, you don't see that too often, man. In fact, you don't see that often enough. Like something cool like this, something, you know. And I've yet to see anything like that since. It's always the coconut shells or that stupid, half log thing. Or not that those aren't any good, they're just fucking boring. And I searched around, and you can find like skull hides, but they're just so generic and cheesy. And so I said I want to come up with a small company where I can make horror and sci-fi themed little hides. And what I'll do is I'll do what that hide was more of a DIY kind of a thing. It didn't have any paint on it. Come on, get in the fucking hole, man. And I ended up painting it, and it came out pretty cool. I mean, I rule. I rule with a paintbrush. It's tiny, tiny little ball. Doesn't want to fucking play ball. Come on, man. All right, let's get it close, right? Let's get it close. Plug the hole. There we go. We got you. I win. But I haven't really been able to find anything like that. And I know there's a lot of people who are crafty and can do stuff like this. And they do. But there's also a lot of people who are not. So I figured, what the fuck? Why don't you do it? Why don't you use these fucking skills that make you no money? Take your time and space and apply it to something you know you would want, and hopefully others would too. So the plan is I have one already molded, ready to go. I just need to get more material to cast up more. I got these little eight, a kit about this size of the liquid plastic. And I was only able to squeeze out 3 from the other mold. Let me get that one to show you what it looks like. Oh, I don't even have to do that. I have the original behind Amazon. Yeah. I have one painted up again for the photo shoot and everything. But the first one I came up with is this guy. It's basically ribcage pumpkin with viscera in between, like muscle tissue and stuff like that. And I want to get at least 5 more molded up and get them on the Etsy shop until I can figure out how to do my own e-commerce. Um, I'm just going to let it go through Etsy and deal with the fees and all that crap, just for the ease of just being able to upload, pay the 20 cents to start the fucking ad, and then move on from there. Um, but I want to get a number of those printed up, or I should say, casted up. God, can you tell I used to have a 3D printer working here? And a couple of these. Oh, you can't even see again. Sorry. A couple of these, and I'm working on a sci-fi style one, almost like a Tatooine style home. Um, and a lot of it's going to be using found objects, kind of like my specialty. Just finding junk around the house that would make a really cool object. You know? And 2026 is the year of me trying to start this business. And you'll be seeing a lot of it here. And I apologize. And on my other channel, mostly. That'll be where like the updates go. But you're going to be sitting here with me in the afternoons doing this with me from time to time. Time after time. Cindy Lauper is fucking hot. The fuck. Here we go. I win. I win. I just gave it the finger. Oh my god. So tired of people sending me reels on the Facebooks. Now, I got a couple spots here that I'm definitely going to have to do some sculpting. If you look around this skull right here, you see how it's like smooth? Because I had to put a material there to lock it in. We're still looking at this guy here, the edge. Very, very, you know, you could definitely tell that it's just glued on this. I'm gonna have to work on that as well. But let me go back to what I was doing with this guy. I think I'm gonna put a little bit right here. It's not necessarily an undercut, but it's between the two, the rock and the skull. So I think we're going to add a little bit there. I'm just hoping this stuff doesn't get too crumbly and just come right off. If not, then I mean I got plenty of other materials. I got plenty of other materials that will work with this. I figured this would be the easiest, and I need to get it. I need to fucking use it. I need to use it. I need to use it. Alan, what's going on, man? Chudley McMuffin. Give me a second, and I will get to you guys' comment. Give me one memento. Memento mori. That made no sense. It's all right. That's what you're here for. You're not here for anyone who makes sense. And if you are, then fucking sorry. Sorry, stupid. Yeah, I said it. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, your sister's fucking whore. Stupid roly-poly tools. All right, Jerome's laughing at me. Spiders are good people. Yeah, actually, absolutely. Jumping spiders are about the only kind of spider I like. I like tarantulas too. Tarantulas can be fun. I had a girlfriend that had one named Harry Budgina with a B, not a V. I don't know. And I was with her for a total of like 5 or 6 years, but after like 2 years of living with her, I never seen her do anything with the fucking spider. You know, once in a while we go into her its little thing and clean it out, and but for the most part we just left it alone. And I asked her, I said, well, why don't you ever like take it out? I mean, what's the point of having the fucking thing besides spending money on crickets and small, pinkies? And she's like, oh no, I don't know, I just don't ever do it. So I started fucking hanging out with the damn thing. I don't know if it liked it or not. I doubt it. It was probably happier with me just leaving it the fuck alone. But I I would have it out all the time. It was a fun creature to have. Actually, I'm gonna leave that one alone, but I will. This is a big gaping wound. Like your mom. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. I'll leave that joke. I'll leave it in there. I'll leave that and say, not kidding. Again, this does not have to be pretty. We are going to be doing a detailed coat on top of this with a textured kind of glue thing. Back to the chat. Back to the chat. So what's going on? I'm working on a hide for a small creature that I'm going to reproduce by hand. And I figured since I needed the motivation to do it, I would do it here on camera with you guys on my live stream. I didn't feel like playing any games today, and I didn't set up anything like yesterday with the ET stuff. I'm gonna leave that alone. That looks fine to me. That looks fine to me, man. This one looks fine. Ooh, you know what? There's a huge undercut right there. I mean, that's a cavern. That's like a fucking cave. The one good thing about having texture like this is it's gonna key the mold perfectly. So I'm gonna do just like as thick as I need it, but not too thick. But then when I put the jacket mold over it, so I can keep it rigid while I'm sploshing the resin, all these little pieces are going to already protrude out, so I don't have to worry about registration marks and all that crap. It's going to make this process so fucking much easier than it could have been, I suppose I'll say. I don't know. I might just leave this one. I might just leave this one. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to leave it for now. Let's walk around. We need to get a little bit in here. And this rock right here, right there, right around, and maybe even between these two here. Yeah, I got to get a little under there too. All right, let's make it happen. What? What's the great news?
So, two things. One, my best friend was not at school with him today. Two,
That's awesome.
she passed her driving test.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
Does she have a car?
I don't think she has her own car. She might be just driving her mom's, but
Well, let's go steal her one. Just scratch the plates off of it. I got a guy in Arizona that keeps VIN cards and titles for that very reason.
viewers, you can't see this. I'm giving him a look. What? Right.
All right. These girls are so sheltered, I would say, naive to the goings on of the world. So I'll say stuff like that and they get all fucking nervous because they don't know if I'm fucking telling the truth or not. That was a half truth. I do know a guy that used to do that, but he's in jail now. But he ran a junker yard. What he would do is he'd cut the little VIN plates off of things and keep the title, and he would sell them. He would sell them to people.
Is that clay?
It's kind of clay. I mean, it's air dry clay, but
Bright orange.
it's not orange at all.
Not bright orange. It's like
Terracotta color.
got it. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Well, that's a skulls thing you made for Alucard, right?
Well, I'm making it to make for other people. Alucard wouldn't fit underneath this.
Oh, okay.
Alucard's way too big. All right, back to the chat. Back to the chat.
Right. Sorry.
It's all right. So what's going on? That's what's going on. I'm making hides for little creatures. So is that one like a master mold? So you can make more? Okay, yes and no. Yes and no. This is what they call a buck or a maquette. It's the idea of what I want to reproduce. And what I'm doing is I'm cleaning up certain areas that are undercuts that might cause problems with both the mold material and the material I'm going to use to reproduce it with the plastic. And this will probably fall apart at some point. So what we tend to do is we'll make a really nice casting of one and put it aside, and that'll become the master. Um, I won't have a master mold. I'll just have the one mold to play with to bang out a handful of them. I'm going to try not to make these last long. I want them to be limited. I don't want you to be able to come back 5 years from now and buy the same thing from me unless I have some surplus. So I'm not going to have like a master mold and then a whole bunch of others. Um, but what I will do is in some cases I will keep like here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is a casting of a Castle Gray skull that I had done um, a long time ago. And I made a mold of it, and this is one I pulled off out of the mold that was perfect. So I put it aside for future molding, if you will. But that's that. That's it. That's all we're doing here. But I'm pre-prepping this to be molded. I'm getting all the undercuts done. I do still have to seal it, and I may do some texture work on it with either a grout or sand mixed with Mod Podge or glue or something like that. And then I got to seal the whole thing because some of these materials won't mix with the silicone very well. So, but right now what I'm doing is I'm just cleaning up little areas I know will be trouble for the silicone and or the plastic. Let's see. Alan says, "Hi, putting the Evil Dead book on art as well. I have I have Necronomicons. In fact, I got a whole bunch of them. You guys should know them by now. I made it. It's probably about 3.5 inches by like 2.5 inches, and so thick. Um, I have a full size one that I've been working on for years that I've made. Um, but the Necronomicon is my favorite prop of all time. So I have I made a Sega Genesis into a Necronomicon, Sega Genesis Model 3, but we raffled that off for a charity kind of thing. My good friend and yours, Rich of Bacon Ice Cream Production, a number of years ago, his house flooded over after a hurricane. So we all got together and tried to raise some money for him. And I didn't really, you guys know me by now, I didn't have any money. So what I did have was a really cool Necronomicon that you could play Sega Genesis games on. And I raffled that off at about $250. I think it was $10 spots. And we got $250 for that and sent it on down to Rich. And you guys pulled through on that one for us. And I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it. Alan, hmm. I have the power sword. I have a power sword right over there in power pieces. You can't see it?
I'm just not looking right. Ah. Look.
Yeah. No.
Why did you do anything?
Well, you're giving me the gimme fingers. And I'm not gimmying this to you.
I had to hold it up. I used to watch She-Ra back in like 2022, I think.
Yeah, I watched Shira during my puberty days.
Oh, I was watching like the newer one.
Right on. But yeah, I have a power sword that I printed up. It was one of the first things I did with my 3D printer. But I didn't dowel any of the individual pieces, so the weight of this cleanly snapped off. And same with the blade. So I actually have this for sale as a project, but I'm actually thinking about I have dowels now, and all I have to do is put little holes in the center, which is easy to do because of the comb of the 3D print. I believe I did this one only at 20%, maybe 30%. But I have dowels cut up and ready to go for it. And it does need cleaning up. It does need cleaning. Like there's a seam right here that doesn't look very good. And there's still some 3D printed lines that I did. I basically did it just for a photo shoot. And then forgot about it. And now I'm thinking about putting it back together and selling it on my Etsy shop. But I also have it up for sale. Maybe is it on my Etsy shop? If not, it will be this afternoon. Um, yeah, I think that's where we're going to stop for now on the sculpting part of things because we're running out of time here. It'll go up tonight, though. If you want to finish working on it, it's actually a really good print. It's a really good print. The sculpt is awesome, and you're about 80% there. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't like He-Man. I can't trust a guy with that haircut and wears a diaper. I don't know, dude. A big masculine dude like that that's willing to have that kind of a bob cut. What am I talking about? I'm done with the sculpting. Fuck that. I'm gonna be doing this most of the afternoon. With a bob cut like that, wearing a loin deal, you know what? That means that dude's fucking all kinds of secure in his own masculinity. And he's probably trustworthy as fuck. I have zero problems with Prince Adam or He Man. He Man. He Man. And the Masters of the Universe. I was watching the Toys That Made Us last night. The Transformers one. I've been in a GoBots kind of mood lately. And it was brought up last night in DJC stream. I'm like, GoBots rule, fuck Transformers. And I only say that because of one truth. And the truth is, when it came to Transformers, I was too fucking stupid to figure most of them out. GoBots, it was always just the legs, the arms, and the head. Easy peasy lemon squeezy for my fucking dumb brain. All right, let's get that in there. Let's get that in there. Yeah. You like that? You like that? There you go. Let me pat it in. Let me pat it in. You know what? If I didn't bring this fucking phone over here, it would be ringing all afternoon. Oh, God. Who's texting you now? All right. Just the kids with their videos that they see that they want me to see. But hopefully I answered your question. uh, it could be She-Man. You never know these days. You know what? It could have been back then, too. Could have been back then, too. Although there would have been different titles for it. There was this one bar on Route 1. I don't remember if it was Saugus or the PBD line. It was called the Green Apple. And their specialty were drag queens. It's my understanding that's derogatory to say now. I don't fucking care. It was never said to be negative. That was their deal. They had hot rods, and it would just be a bunch of burly men just putting on dresses and stuff. And it wasn't even a sexuality thing. It was a spectacle thing. But their thing was their specialty was. I mean, I believe it was a gay bar to begin with. I could be wrong with that because I was really young. But my mom was saying, yeah, it's like a big drag queen kind of hangout thing. So that's just been going on forever, you know. It's fine with me. I don't care. Just leave me alone. Don't fucking dictate what language I have to use, and I'm happy. You can be a fucking spotted owl for all I give a shit. I'm gonna like you, hate you just the same. Don't bother me none. Because I grew up in a live and let live kind of situation. Don't hate someone because they sin differently than you. Yeah. And you know where all that's coming from? My Christian father, who's a minister for the Church of Christ. My dad wouldn't deny anybody. He wouldn't deny a single soul. He wouldn't bullshit with them either, but you know, he would be honest about what the Bible has to say about whatever. But ain't right. Oh shit! There's like this tiny little hole I can't get into. One time my fat fingers have failed me. There we go. Fuck. Fucking stop, dude. Stop. Where are my sculpty tools? I thought I had a blunt round one of these. I guess I'll just use the handle. Oh, that worked perfectly. It could be. Oh, okay, we already talked about She-Man or Hera. She-Man and Hera. I'd watch that just because of the title. I'd watch the fuck out of that. But yeah, I was watching the Toys That Made Us yesterday, and they kept saying that there was going to be a fourth season. And one of my requests was, do you guys remember Mask? The cars that would transform, like you'd hit a button and all these fucking weapons would just pop out. There was this kid that lived in one of my old homes that I used to hang out with. That sounds weird, right? When I was real little, we lived in this one house that was owned by the church. And because my dad was the minister, the family got to live there. It was actually a really nice gig, I guess, considering my dad didn't get paid to be a minister for this church. I found that out after he had passed away. And honestly, it kind of pissed me off because between him working full time, being a minister full time, and then eventually he took on my nephew, like dad was never around. Dad was hardly ever fucking around. And I found out he wasn't even getting paid to be a minister. What the? I mean, it's fine. But when I look back at all the times that I didn't get to hang out with them, and it was because of like church stuff. It was really a calling for the fucking guy, I guess. He loved it. He took it seriously. He was invited to all kinds of places. People loved him, especially in the South. I forget who I was talking to about that the other day. But my father was real popular with the South, mostly like black congregations because of his style, I guess. I don't know. He um he was very passionate. I'll give you that. He was fucking passionate galore. All right, we got that in there. We got it in there. We got it in. Like the Prego commercials used to say, it's in there. What about the tomatoes and the fucking onions? It's in there. And the mushrooms? It's in there. What about the fentanyl? It's in there. It's about time you go hang out at the Dropkick Murphy. Here's a little trivia for you non-Boston people. Dropkick Murphy was a fucking detox. That's where they got the name from. I believe it was more of a nickname for the place, though. It wasn't like actually what it was called. I think it had something to do with the Pine Street Inn. I could be way off on that one. But if you're into the Dropkick Murphys, that name originated from a detox, a chemical detox. Oh man, this sucks. I'm gonna have to get in there with some actual material. This one's tough. In fact, yeah, I'm gonna leave this one alone because that's the one I re-glued today. It's still a little rough. It's still a little rough, a little sketchy, but I'm not gonna have to do as much as I thought. Honestly, this is fucking turning out best case scenario. Best case scenario. Oh, let me finish this rock here. But with all that, I'm gonna sign off here, guys, because I'm fucking hungry. I haven't eaten anything today. To be honest with you, Mask, not the Cher movie. I love the Cher movie. That was such a great movie. I haven't seen that in forever. In fact, I haven't even thought of that in forever. Ricky, that was his name, right? Ricky. What a sad story. Poor guy. You know, the one image that always stuck with me, even to this day, was that one scene where he was in his bed and he had the headaches, and mom had to come in and, do whatever their routine was to help him with it. And I don't get headaches often, but when I do, they suck. And there was just something about that moment of him just as a child being in pain and mom not being able to truly get rid of it, but she did her best. And plus, I like the biker aspect of it all. They didn't try to make them. They didn't try to make the family look like they were anything that they weren't. I'm going to put a few drops of water in here. But it was a great movie. It was a great movie. It was a true story. There we go. That should be more than enough. I'm actually going to do this. Just like how I'm going to mold these. Exactly how I'm going to mold these. All right. Well, that's all you're going to see for the day. That hour went by really fast. Later, dude, Rocky Dennis. That's right. That was his name. Rocky. Rocky Dennis. It's a true story. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Great movie. If you've never seen it, it has Cher. It has oh, what is that kid's name? He was the original Marty McFly. He was also in like Pulp Fiction, the dealer with the adrenaline shot. What is his name? Don't tell me. Don't fucking type it. Don't type it. I'll figure it out here soon. All right, you can type it. I can't figure it out before I sign out. But either way, guys, I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I'm gonna go make me some French fries. Oh my fuck! I'm gonna make myself some French fries. Every time I make food, it's what the people want it. And there's only so much room in an air fryer. Only enough room for me. You're sick. You shouldn't eat French fries anyway. But either way, guys, wherever you are, I hope you're fucking genuinely doing well. Let me check something in. 9 people. Oh my God. Eric Stoltz. That's his name, Eric fucking Stoltz, I believe. But either way, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Eric, yes, violation. You are correct, sir. That means I am correct, sir. Hey, ET's still here. ET's still here. I after yesterday's stream, I cut his head off and mounted it. He was annoying. I'm sorry that he had to interrupt our stream a few times yesterday. Um, but I made sure it's probably not ever going to happen again. All right, guys, I'm taking off. Take care. Keep it real. Bye bye. And all that good stuff.